Have you ever looked up at the night sky and seen a bright, steady star moving silently across the darkness? That might not have been a star at all. It could have been the International Space Station, a home for humans orbiting our planet. This incredible machine is a testament to our species' relentless curiosity. It's a laboratory, an observatory, a stepping stone to the rest of the cosmos, all rolled into one. For a handful of people at any given time, this orbiting outpost is their house, their office, their window to the universe. What is it really like to live there, floating high above the world you've always known? Imagine a structure as long as an American football field, assembled piece by piece in the vacuum of space. That's the International Space Station, or ISS. It's a marvel of engineering, a collaboration between many nations, all working together to push the boundaries of human exploration. It circles the Earth at a blistering 17,500 miles per hour. That's about 5 miles every second. This incredible speed keeps it in a constant state of freefall around our planet, which is what creates the feeling of weightlessness, or microgravity, for everyone and everything inside. How do you get to a home that is orbiting 250 miles above the ground? You can't take a car, you can't take a plane. The only way to get there is to ride a rocket. This journey, the ultimate commute, is one of the most intense and thrilling experiences a human can have. Astronauts are strapped into a tiny capsule perched atop a massive column of controlled explosions. The countdown ticks to 0, and with a deafening roar, they begin their ascent. A force pushes them deep into their seats as they climb. They are climbing a pillar of fire, accelerating faster and faster until they break free from Earth's gravity. The ride to orbit is a violent, bone-rattling affair. For the first few minutes, the astronauts experience forces several times that of normal gravity. G-force. Everything feels incredibly heavy. Just lifting an arm is a struggle. They are passengers on a precisely guided missile, a testament to decades of scientific and engineering genius. The rocket sheds its massive booster stages as it climbs. Each separation is marked by a jolt and a flash of light outside their small windows. They travel through the layers of our atmosphere at unimaginable speeds, leaving the world behind. After about 8.5 minutes of pure power, something magical happens. The main engines cut off. The roaring thunder suddenly gives way to a profound and total silence. The crushing weight of acceleration vanishes in an instant. The astronauts are no longer being pushed into their seats. They begin floating out of them. A pen left dangling in the air will stay right where it is. This is the moment they arrive in space. Imagine your alarm clock goes off, and instead of rolling out of bed, you just float out. Welcome to a typical morning on the International Space Station. Astronauts don't sleep in beds, but in sleeping bags tethered to a wall in their personal crew quarters. These quarters are about the size of a small phone booth. They need to be strapped in, not to keep from falling, but to keep from drifting around the cabin and bumping into sensitive equipment while they sleep. Some astronauts say it's the most comfortable sleep they've ever had, with no pressure points at all. After waking up, the first challenge is personal hygiene. You can't just hop in a shower. Water in space is precious. A conventional shower would send droplets flying everywhere, potentially shorting out electronics. Instead, astronauts use a special no-rinse shampoo and body wash with a bit of water from a pouch. They then use towels to clean themselves. Brushing your teeth is also unique. Astronauts use edible toothpaste. The workday is meticulously planned by mission control on Earth, scheduled down to 5-minute increments. A typical day mixes station maintenance, scientific experiments, and exercise. Keeping the ISS running is a full-time job. When you think of space food, you might picture astronauts squeezing bland paste from a tube. While that was true in the early days of spaceflight, the menu on the International Space Station is surprisingly diverse and sophisticated. Astronauts eat 3 meals a day plus snacks, and they have a wide variety of foods to choose from. Most of the food is thermostabilized, essentially heat-treated like canned goods on Earth, or freeze-dried. All they need to do is add water or heat it up in a special oven before it's ready to eat. Getting the food to stay on your plate, or rather on your tray, is the real trick. Food is served in special packages and containers. Astronauts use trays that can be attached to their laps or a wall with Velcro. Utensils are magnetic to keep them from floating away mid-bite. Salt and pepper don't come in shakers. Can you imagine a cloud of pepper floating into your eyes or the station's air filters? Instead, they come in liquid form. Salt is dissolved in water, and pepper is suspended in oil, dispensed from a dropper bottle onto their food. One of the strangest truths about eating in space is that food can taste different. In microgravity, bodily fluids tend to shift upwards into the head, causing a sensation similar to having a stuffed-up nose from a cold. Of all the questions astronauts get asked, the most common is, how do you go to the bathroom in space? And honestly, it's a fair question because it's actually one of the most complicated aspects of daily life in microgravity. The space station has a very sophisticated toilet, but it works very differently from ones on Earth. Instead of using water to flush, it uses a vacuum system, a high-tech suction hose, to pull waste away into a collection tank. You definitely don't want waste floating around the cabin. The toilet has two parts, a urine hose with a funnel and a tiny seat for solids. The seat is only about 4 inches across, so astronauts have to aim carefully. They practice on a training toilet on the ground with a camera inside. It's all precision and practice. Urine is recycled back into drinking water. Sustainability in a closed environment. Shaving and haircuts pose problems too. Hairs can float into equipment or be inhaled. Astronauts use razors and clippers attached to vacuum hoses that suck hairs and cream into a bag. Living in microgravity might sound like a vacation, but it's actually incredibly tough on it. Without the constant pull of gravity, your muscles and bones don't have to work to support you. If you don't use them, you lose them. Astronauts can lose bone density at a rate of about 1 to 2% per month, which is similar to what an elderly person with osteoporosis experiences in a year on Earth. Their muscles also begin to atrophy very quickly. To combat this, astronauts must exercise rigorously for about 2 hours every single day. The space station has a special gym for weightlessness. You can't just lift weights. They'd float. Instead, they use the Advanced Resistive Exercise Device, the ARED. It uses vacuum cylinders and flywheel cables, allowing exercises like squats, deadlifts, and bench presses. This maintains muscle mass and bone density. For cardio, they have a treadmill and a stationary bicycle. But how do you run if you float away with every step? Astronauts wear a special harness with bungee cords that pulls them down onto the treadmill, simulating gravity and enabling a real run. The treadmill sits on a vibration-dampening platform so running won't shake the whole station or disturb experiments. Even when you're orbiting the planet at 5 miles per second, you still want to talk to your family. Staying connected to loved ones is one of the most important things for an astronaut's mental health and well-being. Thankfully, modern technology makes it possible to call home from the International Space Station. Astronauts can make private phone calls using an Internet Protocol phone, which works much like a video call app on your computer. They can call any phone number on Earth, sharing their day and hearing the familiar voices of their family and friends. Communication with Earth isn't just for personal calls, it's the lifeblood of the entire mission. The station is in almost constant contact with mission control centers around the world, Houston, Moscow, and other locations. This link, known as the Space Network, uses a series of satellites to relay data, voice commands, and video. This allows the flight controllers on the ground to monitor the station's health, help astronauts with complex procedures, and manage their daily schedules. It's a continuous conversation between space and Earth. Astronauts also have access to the internet. The International Space Station is, first and foremost, a world-class science laboratory. Its unique location in microgravity provides a research environment that cannot be replicated on Earth. Scientists from all over the world send experiments to the station, and the astronauts act as their hands, eyes, and brains in space. These experiments cover a vast range of fields: biology, physics, astronomy, earth science. The work done on the ISS helps us understand fundamental principles of the universe and improve life back on our own planet. One major area of research is human biology. By studying how astronauts' bodies adapt to the absence of gravity, we learn more about our own physiology. This research has direct applications on Earth. For example, studying bone loss in astronauts helps scientists develop better treatments for osteoporosis. Research into how the immune system changes in space could lead to new ways to fight disease. The astronauts themselves are the subjects of many experiments, providing a constant stream of data on how long-term spaceflight affects the human body. For all the wonders of living in space, they still miss simple earthly things. They miss the sun on their skin. They miss the wind in their hair. They miss the smell of rain on soil. They miss freshly cut grass. They long for a real hot shower. They miss fresh pizza. They miss a crisp salad. They miss an ice-cold glass of milk. These sensory ties bind them to Earth. Family and friends are what they miss most. They can make calls. They can do video chats. But nothing replaces a real hug, or sharing a meal in the same room. They are separated by hundreds of miles of empty space. They celebrate holidays and birthdays through a screen. That isolation is one of the biggest psychological challenges. Reunion with family is a powerful, emotional end to a mission, yet they gain a rare, permanent change in perspective. From orbit they see a single, unified planet without borders. They see a fragile, beautiful sphere, a pale blue dot. This is the overview effect.